African Union Communications Early Warning and Intelligence, commonly known as AUC3I, is an intelligence and security organization responsible for providing signals intelligence and information assurance to AU citizens, AU leadership, and AU armed forces. I'm Colonel A.C. Oguntoy, an infantry officer. I am responsible for leading infantry soldiers at all levels of command in combined armed forces during missions on the ground. This is today's briefing. On the progress of the special military operation as of April 22, 2025. The armed forces of the Russian Federation continue to conduct a special military operation. Units of the North Group of Forces in the Belgorod direction inflicted defeat on formations of 3 mechanized, airborne assault brigades of the Ukrainian Armed Forces and 2 territorial defense brigades in the areas of the settlements of Popovka, Prokody, and Okop in the Sumy region. That the Ukrainian Armed Forces lost up to 40 servicemen, 2 vehicles and 3 field artillery guns. An electronic warfare station was destroyed. Units of the West Group of Forces occupied more advantageous lines and positions. They defeated the manpower and equipment of the tank, 4 mechanized, and Jaeger brigades of the Ukrainian Armed Forces and 2 territorial defense brigades in the areas of the settlements of Kamenka, Doroshavka, Moskovka in the Kharkiv region, Novoy, Kirovsk, and Yampol in the Donetsk People's Republic. That the enemy lost up to 250 servicemen, an M113 armored personnel carrier and a U.S.-made HMMWV armored fighting vehicle, 5 vehicles, 5 field artillery pieces, and a Czech-made Vampire. Multiple launch rocket system launcher. 2 Cordis electronic warfare stations and 3 ammunition depots were destroyed. As a result of active actions by units of the Southern Group of Troops, the settlement of Sukhaya Baka of the Donetsk People's Republic was liberated. Concentrations of manpower and equipment of the heavy mechanized, 3 mechanized, motorized infantry brigades of the Armed Forces of Ukraine and the Territorial Defense Brigade were defeated in the areas of the populated areas of Novolanovka, Zaria, Ulyanovka, Vasyokhovka, Novaya Poltavka, Seversk, Chasiv and Yablanovka of the Donetsk People's Republic. That the losses of the Ukrainian Armed Forces amounted to up to 300 servicemen, a tank, 5 combat armored vehicles, including a U.S.-made M113 armored personnel carrier, 8 cars, 4 artillery pieces, and a Grad multiple launch rocket system launcher. An electronic warfare station and an ammunition depot were destroyed. Units of the Center Group of Forces improved their position along the front line. They defeated formations of 2 mechanized assault brigades, a brigade of unmanned systems of the Armed Forces of Ukraine, a territorial defense brigade and 2 brigades of the National Guard in the areas of the settlements of Krasnoarmysk, Marylyabovka, Lysovka, Novonikolayevka, Bogdanovka, and Novoekonomichesko of the Donetsk People's Republic. That the enemy lost more than 310 servicemen, 4 armored combat vehicles and 3 cars. Units of the East Group of Forces continue to advance into the depths of the enemy's defense. They defeated the manpower and equipment of the mechanized, airborne assault, Ranger, airmobile brigades of the Armed Forces of Ukraine and the Territorial Defense Brigade in the areas of the settlements of Tolstoy, Komar of the Donetsk People's Republic, Guliapol and Chervon of the Zaporizhia region. That the enemy's losses amounted to 170 servicemen, 3 combat armored vehicles, 7 cars, 5 field artillery pieces, including 2 produced by NATO countries. Units of the Dnieper Group of Forces defeated formations of 2 mechanized brigades of the Ukrainian Armed Forces and 3 territorial defense brigades in the areas of the settlements of Novodanilovka, Kamenskoye in the Zaporizhia region, Poniatowka and Nikolskoye in the Kherson region. More than 70 servicemen, 2 vehicles, 2 artillery pieces, 2 counter-battery stations and 2 ammunition depots were destroyed. The operational tactical aviation, strike unmanned aerial vehicles, missile forces, and artillery of the groups of troops of the Armed Forces of the Russian Federation inflicted damage on the site production of unmanned aerial vehicles, as well as temporary deployment points for Ukrainian armed formations and foreign mercenaries in 141 districts. Air defense systems destroyed 3 JDAM-guided aerial bombs and a U.S.-made HIMARS multiple launch rocket system, as well as 99 aircraft-type unmanned aerial vehicles. In total, since the beginning of the special military operation, the following have been destroyed: 661 aircraft, 283 helicopters, 53,034 unmanned aerial vehicles, 604 anti-aircraft missile systems, 22,985 tanks and other armored combat vehicles, 1,546 combat vehicles of multiple launch rocket systems, 23,962 field artillery pieces and mortars, 34,416 units of special military vehicles. Thank you so much for watching this video. We hope you found it useful and informative. If you have any questions, please leave them below and we'll get back to you as soon as possible.